The latest news here on Viusasa. The Joint National Assembly Committee members probing the controversial sugar importation have been sent back to the drawing board after Speaker Justin Muturi ordered for a fresh probe following a heated face-off over the report. Some MPs even called the report a joke and a total waste of time.
So far, from the preliminary laboratory tests and ongoing analysis, no traces of mercury have been found. However, investigations on the same and different samples are going on.
3 suspects arraigned before a Naivasha court in connection to the Salai Dam tragedy will remain in police custody pending a bail ruling. Perry Mansukh, Vinod Kumar and Johnson Jona will know their fate today after denying 48 counts of manslaughter following the Patel Dam accident that left 48 people dead. And IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati says the poll agency is broke and cannot access money from the National Treasury, even as MPs questioned Chebukati and his 2 commissioners over the suspension of CEO Ezra Chiloba for the second time. Chebukati maintains the commission was paralyzed and Treasury is not replying to their letters.
We have fully prepared payments up to internet banking stage in IFMIS, amounting to 1.4 billion, which have not been funded. The exchequer has not come. If not funded, this inadequacy will affect operations of the Commission.
The 100 Cuban doctors sourced by the government to work in county hospitals have started work. However, a new challenge has cropped up. The doctors are grappling with a communication barrier. The doctors from the Spanish-speaking country are receiving help from their colleagues as they work to learn English and a few words in their local languages.
They said, no problem, it's very easy. What I think is very difficult, very difficult. At the moment we know about greetings, but the other words is very difficult.
To learn English was a few months in our country, but we are, I think, few, but we have contact with this language, but I think Kiswahili is a challenge.
And Basic Education PS Dr. Belio Kipsang is now attributing the current wave of unrest in some schools to panic over examinations. Some education stakeholders have also given their contribution to the debate on what is driving students to go on rampage.
Not very comfortable with students seeing somebody transferred into their school to be a principal and perhaps following or tightening rules.
It appears the world will now be able to get the rare species of white rhinos conceived in test tubes as an international team of scientists successfully created hybrid embryos from the southern white rhino eggs and the northern white rhino sperm using assisted reproduction techniques. This is the first ever reported generation of rhinos conceived in a test tube. And a Kenyan woman who allegedly stole over 140 million shillings in Dubai was brought before a Milimani Law Court in Nairobi. The prosecution asked the court to let police hold the woman for 14 days to enable them complete investigations. The suspect was arrested on Tuesday, July 3rd at Namanga border while trying to cross to Tanzania and was taken to her home in Kamodu, where 13 million Kenya shillings was recovered. And 2 girls from Alimuru School who had been reported missing have been found in Malindi, where it is believed they were to be used for child sex trade. Speaking to the press, Malindi OCPD Matawa Mushangi said the 17-year-old girls may have been lured into the coastal town for sex trafficking. Mushangi said the investigation did not show the girls were in Malindi for any terrorism-related acts or radicalization training. According to Mushangi, a man only identified as Kamau convinced the 2 Form 3 students that he would connect them to jobs and foreigners in the coastal town of Malindi.
Hata ikiwa hawajasema ukweli, ile watu waliwalete hapa wamekataa kutuonesha, lakini tunajua kulingana na uchunguzi yetu hawajahusika na maneno ya ugaidi ama maneno mengine ya kuharibiwa kwa watoto.
And a business lady was charged with 2 counts of stealing and forgery in a complaint filed by her business partner, who is also her husband. Rosaline Wangoi Wambogo was accused of forging her husband's signature in order to try and withdraw money from the National Bank. Her husband, Johnson Ndongo, then filed the complaint but the accused denied the charges. And thousands of Kenyans could not access services at Huduma centers countrywide yesterday after systems were shut down over non-payment of debts owed to internet service providers Safaricom and Orange. Nearly all Huduma services were affected except for Certificate of Good Conduct, CASNEB and Posta, which are done manually. The systems have since been restored. Kenya and Tanzania now say they are inching closer to cementing trade ties following a meeting held in Dar es Salaam between Trade PS Chris Kiptoo and his Tanzanian counterpart Elisante Ole Gabriel. Suspicion and hostility between Kenya and Tanzania has continued to undermine trade ties between the two nations, despite both being members of the East African Community formed on the premise of enhancing trade. President Uhuru Kenyatta has called on the Central Organization of Trade Unions, COTU, and the National Assembly to support the proposed National Housing Development Fund. In a meeting held at State House, Nairobi, Kenyatta rallied the groups to back the fund, noting that it will be critical in developing affordable housing units in the country. COTU and the Federation of Kenyan Employers had indicated their reservations for the fund, terming it as an additional layer of taxation. Treasury had proposed a deduction of 0.5% of employees' monthly salary and up to a maximum of 5,000 shillings per month.